It starts with a thought. Sarah didn't believe the story when she first heard it. A classmate had told her about it in passing, the kind of thing you'd dismiss as an urban legend.
It only exists if you think about it. The more you think about it, the closer it gets. And when it's close enough...
He drew a finger across his throat, smirking. Sarah laughed, shaking her head.
That's ridiculous.
Later that night, as she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the thought crept in.
What if it's real?
She could almost see it in her mind's eye, a shadowy figure, watching her from the corner of the room. She shook her head, laughing nervously. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. As she looked at her phone, her stomach dropped. A single text, no sender, just 3 words. Thinking of me? She whispered to herself.
It's just a prank. It's not real.
But now, she couldn't stop thinking about it. She pictured the figure again, clearer this time. A silhouette, dark and faceless, standing just out of reach. The moment the image took shape in her mind, she saw it. Out of the corner of her eye, something moved on the other side of the room. She bolted upright, scanning the room. Nothing. Just the shadows playing on the walls. She forced herself to breathe, to calm down. But the thought wouldn't go away, and the more she thought about it, the closer it seemed. By the next morning, Sarah was a wreck. She barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she imagined it again, and every time she could swear she felt it moving closer. She called her best friend Liv, desperate for reassurance.
Okay, calm down. It's not real, all right? You're just scaring yourself.
Sarah wanted to believe her, but when she hung up, the shadows in the room seemed darker, deeper. That night, it got worse. She tried to distract herself, but every time her thoughts wandered, she felt it. She saw it. The silhouette wasn't just in her mind anymore. It was in her room, standing in the farthest corner. She couldn't see its face, if it even had one, but she knew it was staring at her. She squeezed her eyes shut, muttering to herself,
Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
When she opened her eyes, it was closer. Now it stood by the dresser, its form more distinct. She could see long, jagged fingers twitching at its side as if it was eager, hungry. She backed against the wall, trembling. She whispered,
Please. I didn't mean to.
It tilted its head, its featureless face somehow exuding malice. Then she made the mistake of thinking about what would happen next. The instant the thought crossed her mind, it moved. A blur of darkness, faster than her scream, faster than her breath. The last thing she felt was cold, clawed hands wrapping around her throat. That night, Liv woke from a terrible nightmare. She dreamt something happened to her friend Sarah. She reached for her phone to see a single text. No sender, just 3 words. Thinking of me?